next up, we've got Immunity by John Hopkins. So this is a 2013 album. John Hopkins is kind of like, it's weird. He gets like called classical by a load of people. Like on streaming services, they even like put him under classical for a load of stuff. And I kind of get it. Like you could definitely call it contemporary classical, but at least this album, which is the one that I know best from him, this is an electronica album. Even like kind of like ambient techno and stuff going on in there. Like there's one song in particular, which again was the song that kind of drew me to the album in the first place, which I would consider a classical song slightly, but the rest of it is just pure like electronic ambient music. Like there's no strings or anything to it. So I find the classification very weird. So make of that what you will. But yeah, Abandoned Window is the track that I picked this album up because of. And it is the one song that sounds nothing like the rest of the tracks. All the other tracks, again, really good, like nice kind of techno kind of feel to it. Lots of very like crunchy, almost like field recording kind of sounding drums. So instead of it just being like a dry, like clean sounding drum, it kind of almost feels like a sound of a bag rustling or something like that. Right. Nice sounding stuff. But Abandoned Window is just a piano track. And it's pure sound design, like that track. So it's like a 30-second loop of a piano piece. Really simple, very like moving, kind of minor key sounding song, but like kind of like wistful hopefulness. And the entire song just adds and adds and adds layers of reverb on top.
Right. And
you kind of get like, it could be field recordings. It sounds almost like sounds from like cars passing by a house. It's very subtle, very, very thought out, but it really adds to the track. And by the end of it, it is just pure reverb. You don't really have any hint of what came before it, aside from just the hint of the melody of the song. But that track is like genuinely stunning. And to be fair, like I think the album as a whole got nominated for a Mercury Award.
Wow.
But that's the standout track for me. And yeah, with regards to the artwork, again, a very simple kind of piece of work, but there's something to it that kind of reminds me of like lens flares on photography, like film photography especially. Like obviously lens flares aren't that shape, but it kind of has that, I don't know, it's a weird like nostalgic kind of feeling to it, even though it's very clearly like a digital picture. So that's something that I really like about that image. It's just a very simple picture that doesn't belie what the album is. It doesn't tell you what the album is. You kind of have to go in and listen to it to find out what it is. And then the inner works, you've got
more of them,
more of the same. Almost kind of looks like spores or flowers or something like that. I do wonder whether or not maybe that's what inspired it. But yeah,
I think for me is I think people have different ideas of artwork and stuff like that. To me, artwork is very important. For me, I probably would have just flicked over that. But someone else sees that completely different. Like for me, I think, I find that quite boring. I'm sure you could have done a lot more. But obviously, I think there's a reason behind why you used that. But I'm very kind of like, I bought albums just because of the artwork.
Yeah,
I'm really kind of shallow when it comes to like artwork, and and what I expect, and if it looks dated. I love band photos, and but I think when people are trying to get a bit like arty with designs and stuff, it's like, ugh, please. The only ones that can get away with it is things like Peter Saville or Peter Saville. The only one who can get away with it, really.
So yeah, there we are. Immunity by John Hopkins.